All right, welcome to Zone in Sports. How's it going out there, E, today?
It's going great, man. After all the snow here in St. Louis, we got some sunshine that's starting to melt, and hopefully this is the last of it, according to what the weather people say. We should have a pretty mild March, last week of February, and we had some really cold weather, but I'm glad we got through this last week. I told you last week, I was dreading this last week. It was cold.
It was rough.
It was cold.
It was super rough. All right, we're going to start the show off today. I got an interesting question posed to you and I. It is from Carlos Walker 221. And I want you to think about this question before you answer, because I've been giving a lot of thought. And it basically says, and I quote, how much of the season was because of Cam Ward instead of Mario showing progress? I'm waiting to see. Show me on the field. So he wants to know how much of the season last year, just passed, was because of Cam Ward and instead of Mario showing progress. What do you think about that? It's an interesting question.
I would, off the top of my head, I would say 50% Cam Ward off the top. Just as a blind person that just was watching football, it was 50% Cam. Because without Cam, you're not 10-2. Without Cam, you probably 6-6, maybe 7-6, or maybe even 5-7.
Right.
Strictly because of him. But you have to understand that a lot of this was Shannon Dawson as the offensive coordinator.
Right.
Mario didn't interfere with him in how he called his game.
Right.
On the flip side, Mario didn't interfere with the defensive coordinator and how he called his game, and he didn't call the best games on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Mario fumbled this year with clock management and timeouts. There's been a couple of questionable timeouts, but he didn't do anything boneheaded like not take a knee.
Right.
I give Mario credit as far as, getting that offensive line together, because I think if Miami would have been forced to run the ball a little bit more because they didn't have a Cam Ward, I think their running game would have been
top in the nation, I would think.
I would say in the top 10 of the country.
Yeah.
At least top 10. If they would have been forced to be more of a running team, if they didn't have a Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Mario did okay. I would say at least 50% has to go to Cam, strictly off of who he was and what he brought to the program as a leader, as a passer. He was given a lot of leeway.
Yeah,
they took the cuffs off of him. Van Dyke couldn't audible.
Right.
Cam Ward could audible. He could come up to the line of scrimmage and see things he didn't like and switch up the call and whatnot, like an NFL quarterback. Right. Or like an elite college program quarterback should be able to do.
Right.
So Shannon Dawson and Mario had the faith in him to, okay, you walk up to the line of scrimmage, you seeing what the defense is giving you, and we're going to let you make adjustments and changes. And even when the line did have a breakdown or they blitz, he could improvise, and he did. So
right.
I would say 50% him, and then the other 50% would go to Mario and Shannon Dawson.
Yeah. When I first got the question, I said, and I thought it was the same debate with Brady, Belichick. How much was Belichick doing in comparison to, Brady's success? So what I would tell Carlos Walker is that you need athletes to implement your system. Now, the progress is being shown by the record. You could only judge a coach by its record. And every year he's progressively got better. So it's like you say, it's a 50-50. Cam did help 50% of his progression, but you need those athletes as a coach to progress. So
that's right.
And I hope that answers this question.
I hope it does, because that's a good question. That's a good question because, and like I said last week, I think Mario has progressed season. Now he's going into season 4.
Right.
Now I think this year you're going to see more than just what the team does on the field. You're going to see what he does as a head coach and what his staff does.
Right.
I think they have each season that comes along, they have learned, especially Mario. I mean, look at the changes he's made. This is his third defensive coordinator now.
Right.
Okay. That shows me that he's not stubborn and that he knows what he needs to do. If he wants to get to that next level, if he wants to get up there to the top echelon with the other teams, then he has to make the adjustments from a coaching standpoint. Right. Not just from a player's perspective and personnel on the field, but from his staff, his subordinates.
Yeah.
His assistant coaches, whatever position they may be, they still are his subordinates.
Yeah.
He's the boss. The buck stopped with him. So he knows with every win and loss, it all stops with him. So I think he's right there. He's shown that, okay, I'm willing to make the necessary moves because we've seen the deficiencies we had last season.
Right. Right.
So the biggest thing for Canes fans, and I really impress on this, is you gotta put Cam Ward behind you now as far as trying to bring him into this next season.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's going to be with the Giants or the Titans next year, probably the Titans or somebody else.
Right.
He did what he did in Miami. Be grateful for what he did. He helped change the program. He brought a level of attitude to the program and leadership to the program. Don't expect Carson Beck to be him. Carson Beck is Carson Beck. Correct. And if I get 2023 Carson Beck, if I get last year's Carson Beck without the drops,
right.
I'm happy. If I get last year's Carson Beck with some protection and without the drops, I think Miami fans will be pretty happy.
Right. I think so too.
So I think from looking at it from a standpoint of Mario as a coach, he's already shown you, okay, he's made some better game time decisions this past season. He's made some better decisions with new subordinates coming into this season. So let's let it play out and not get hung up on what Cam did. What Cam did was great, but I can't sit up here and keep ingesting and redigesting last year.
Right.
It's over with. It's one and done. You can't cry with spilled milk. It's water under the bridge. It's time to move on to the next.
Right.
2025. Let's get into this spring ball and see what we got.
All right. Well, we finna hop right in it. Everybody seen the thumbnail? We're going to talk a little bit about the robbery that happened down in South Florida with Carson Beck and Hanna Cavinder. 3 vehicles stolen from reports. I think one of them was returned. And 2. Okay.
2 cars, the Mercedes and Range Rover have been returned.
And I guess
Lamborghini's still missing.
When I first seen it, I was just wondering.
They caught the guys who did it also.
Yeah. I was wondering, with the age of NIL now and the money that's being displayed, because as soon as NIL deals come up now, it's being posted all over social media how much these people are making and everything. How much of a target are they? I mean, they've always been targets. But you got to think, 20 years ago, they wasn't making that type of money. You had athletes actually stealing to make their way through college. Now a lot of them are set. A lot of them are spending a lot of money on these campuses. How much do you think they are a bigger threat or not? Or is this a one-off, I guess?
Well, first of all, what people need to understand is this is South Florida. This is not an isolated incident. Okay, fancy cars get stolen down there all day, every day, 365 days a week. It only got media attention because of who the people were that had their cars stolen.
Right.
Okay. This is nothing new down in South Florida. From what I understand, this was a ring of some guys from Chile, like 8 guys, and they have been going around the country doing this, stealing high-end cars.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to speak to the nature of our country right now, and people are broke, people are desperate, and it ain't no different than what the Kia boys been doing up here for years.
Right. Yes.
Okay? It's just you're not going to hear about your neighbor's Kia or Hyundai getting stolen because they work for the post office. They not a high-profile college athlete.
I guess what was most disturbing to me is that they went in while they were at the house, and I was just like, how do you know where the keys are at? These people in the house.
That's what I read. They got in the house. They somehow
it's
got
confusing.
in the house. Well, it's scary because I've read about this last year. People are breaking into other folks' cars, and they're fumbling through your car looking for your insurance card. And when they get your insurance card, what's on your insurance card? Your address.
Yeah.
And then they get your garage door opener. And then they come back later and they can open your garage because they just Google your address.
Right.
So this is a problem. This is a real problem. You're gonna have to hide your paperwork in your car where they can't find it because that's what they're looking for now. People are desperate. They're not just breaking in cars, stealing stereos any longer like they used to. Or laptops. They're looking for guns and anything of value. And now, like I just said, address on the insurance card. Let me grab the garage door opener, and I can go right back there at night or during the day when you're at work, and bloop, open your garage, and now I got access to your home.
So do you think you don't think them being high profile NIL athletes have anything to do with it?
Sure it did, because the dude that was behind it was a 20-year-old.
Yeah. And
he knew about them.
Yeah.
And he got caught, dummy, using a rental car in his name, dummy.
Right.
It's always a dummy.
Right.
And they traced the rental car with the GPS to Beck's address.
Right.
Dummy.
Yeah.
You're going to use a rental car in your name to commit a crime. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
Well, that's how he got caught. And they admitted they got into one car, got the garage door open up the garage to go in the house. The keys might have been hanging up in the kitchen or in the family room or right by the garage. They get the keys and now they got the cars and they out before you could wake up and run downstairs or come out the room if you sleep. Some people sleep deep. I don't.
Yeah.
You don't hear shit. So
right.
As soon as they got the keys, they was out. They got all three of them. I'm gone.
Yeah. So do you think now? This is what I'm getting concerned about. Do you think that they're going to have not just Miami? I'm talking about across the nation with some of these guys that's making millions. The university's going to have to provide private security, or are they going to have to hire their own private security? Because there's a difference when you have athletes walking around making.
Why would they provide you? Why would they provide you security when they paying you? Provide for your own.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these athletes going to have to step up. Like
stop buying these fancy ass cars.
I don't think you're going to stop that from a 27-year-old.
Probably not, because you giving all this money to kids.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you are giving money to 18 to 22-year-old kids. Yeah. They might be adults legally, but up here in the mind, we were all immature.
Yeah.
And we were hard-headed, and somebody that was an adult was trying to talk to you and put some sense in you, and some people listened and some of us didn't. Yeah. And you had to find out the hard way, whatever that is in life, whether it's having a car stolen or whatever it is, you had to find out the hard way. You're still giving all this money to kids.
Yeah.
Like my man said, Rihanna and Chris Brown got into a fight.
You're right.
And because they were superstars, it garnered attention.
Right.
If there were two college kids on campus fighting over ramen noodles, you'd have never heard about it.
Right.
But because they $1 million young people with Lamborghinis and Mercedes, it's all over the news.
Yeah. And I'm pretty
still
sure
kids at the end of the day, they're still kids.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that every university probably have talked to these guys at the beginning of the season about security and
better stay on
things
campus.
like that. And even for the guys to stay off campus to protect themselves. It's just interesting that now that we know how much money they making, these athletes, and with more money becomes more scrutiny become more eyeballs.
It even happens to professional athletes. They get robbed.
Yeah. Yeah. All the time.
Man, people out here hungry, man. They're desperate. They don't care.
Right.
You could be a nobody or somebody being somebody of status. It's more of a bullseye.
Yeah.
That's why the really rich and wealthy people, they broke. They drive a Honda Accord and they wear some doctors.
Right.
Yeah, they look broke. They might have 8, 9 zeros, but they don't look like it.
Right.
But when you ride around flashy,
yeah, somebody looking to get you.
Somebody looking at you, man. Somebody hungry,
Yeah. I'm just glad nobody got hurt in the situation, because that could have went bad with both of them being in the house.
It could have went real bad, So I mean, the dude got caught. he didn't even plea bargain. He admitted his guilt because they had him dead to rights. We got rental car, paperwork with your name, GPS
Right.
with the car, traced it back to where you was at with the stolen stuff. You busted. Hey, but the next guy might not be as sloppy as you.
Right. Yeah. True. True. Yeah, that's crazy.
The next person might put a little bit more thought into it. Hey, like I said,
He said similar what happened to
Sean Taylor. He went to his sister's birthday party, gave her 10 grand. The cat saw him do that. 10 racks ain't no money, man. You can blow 10 racks in a day or two. That ain't. But when you ain't got it,
it wrecks a lot if you ain't got it.
They seen him do that.
Yeah.
And some bum ass dudes plot to rob him and come back to his house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
And Sean wasn't trying to be flashy. He was just breaking his sister off some bread.
Right.
These clowns just happened to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, he got money like that. Oh, okay. What did Chuck D say about Tyrese on C-SPAN when he came out there and lost that diamond necklace swimming?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
They wasn't tripping off it. Wait a minute. If you can lose something like that, you ain't tripping off it. Next time you come to my town, we're gonna see what you all about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You got cats in every city they wait for opportunities like this.
Yeah. Every city. It don't matter what city.
Every city. You can't come somewhere else. You coming from Georgia, you driving around in a Lambo, you got this big NIL, $4 million.
Right.
She driving around in a Benz, and y'all got a Range Rover, and we know where you stay at. Oh,
right. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on from that. I thought it was interesting. Just wanted to bring that up. Now we talked behind the scenes about this rumor with Kevin Beard. And the funny part is like you said, that rumor was started by other people. You never heard anything from Kevin. You never heard anything from Mario about him leaving. And from my understanding, like we were talking behind the scenes, he was still under contract. They just haven't offered him an extension, a contract extension yet. So what is your take on the Kevin Beard situation for the people in the audience out there?
If Kevin Beard leaves for the NFL, I can't be mad at him. That's a step up. Oh, and I'm sorry. Syracuse was after him.
Right.
Syracuse was the one that shown interest in him. Now, I personally can't see Kevin Beard leaving to go to Syracuse, but then again, money talks and BS runs the marathon. So,
right.
Miami has a history with Syracuse going back to the 98 season. And I think whatever Syracuse offers him, Miami will match it.
Mm.
Kevin Beard is a good coach. He is not of the status of Ohio State coach who just left Ohio State to go. I don't know where he went, but he was known to put cats in the league. Okay?
Right.
Ohio State got quite a few dudes in the league right now that he was known. That's why your boy Jeremiah Smith went there.
Right.
Because he was like a Calipari of college football. I'm gonna put your son in the league. Give me a year or two. I'm gonna get him developed and get him on. I'm not saying Kevin Beard is there yet, but if he's good enough to get attention where Syracuse is trying to pluck him away, it's just a matter of time before Miami matches that. And Miami may not match that.
Right, yeah.
They may not. They might say, okay, Kevin, good luck to you, and go chase that bag.
Right.
It hasn't happened.
Right.
It's been quite silent for like the last week now.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
So no news is good news.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see him leaving, and not with spring ball around the corner.
Right.
You got a really good batch of receivers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at JoJo Trader, Nakar, Joshua Moore, Malachi Tony, Ray Joseph, Chance Robinson, CJ Daniels, Dalen Upshaw. You got 8 receivers here, man. That's
right. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. And FTW says say, yeah, we definitely want to keep him, but he's not irreplaceable. Basically, yeah.
Nobody's irreplaceable. Hell, none of us on our jobs are irreplaceable.
right.
He not.
Right.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know who would be out there in the world, in the college world right now, coaching wise, that you would replace him with.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting.
So unless Miami got somebody out there that they looking at that they can pull away from another program to come there to take his place,
right?
I don't see it happening right now.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of rumblings. I just thought it was interesting that people threw that rumor out there. And another rumor that we talked about behind the scenes was the Warren Sapp thing, and I'm pretty sure people heard that out there in the YouTube sphere about Warren Sapp gave an interview with Uncle Luke, and he was talking about basically he wanted to go work. Mario wanted him over there, but Mario wanted him to work 20 hours a day, and he was like, no. He said, well, let me clarify. He didn't say that. He said that somebody told him, whoever somebody is, that Mario wants him to work 20 hours a day, and he was like, no. I hopped on the Canes Insight, and boy, they were going in on Warren Sapp. Let me tell you. And we talked a little bit behind the scenes about Warren Sapp. So what did you say about that?
I don't believe that. Ain't nobody gonna ask you to work 20 hours a day when you're
right.
24. That don't make no sense.
Right.
And for him to say that doesn't make any sense. Even Mario don't work 20 hours a day.
Right. You might be on call, but you ain't working 20 hours.
That man got a wife and kids too, like everybody else. Stop it. Warren need to stop it, man. So no, I'm not buying that. Like I said, I like Warren Sapp and I don't like Warren Sapp. His mouth get him in trouble too much. That bullshit last year when he got in trouble and got arrested for interfering with the police, and he could have just kept his mouth shut then, but he wanted all the attention on him.
Right.
So I think he would be a distraction in the locker room.
Mm.
He can't outshine Dion.
No.
He would try to outshine Mario.
Right. Yeah.
That's why Miami won't hire him.
That's
you can be alumni. Why would I hire you? You gonna keep your mouth in check with Dion.
Yeah.
You come to your alma mater, you might try to make it all about you and what you doing. And I'm not saying he a bad coach because I know he good.
Yeah. I
seen him doing his technique and teaching dudes his technique. But again, that self-aggrandizement, that mouth he got, it might not be a good fit for the locker room. It might not be a good. He would have to treat Mario with the same as he would treat with Dion, and keep that self stuff in check.
Yeah,
I don't believe the 20-hour thing. Ain't nobody gonna ask you to give you
20 hours.
Unless we some secret forces in the military doing some clandestine type shit. This football, man.
Right. And then he was kind of slick with it when he tried to say, well, he tried to hire me before Jason Taylor. Like he basically wanted him before Jason Taylor.
We didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't hear that. But the way the interview, and I don't know if he meant that the way I read the article or not, but, it is what it is.
Like I said, I like Warren, man. I've been a Sapp fan since he played in Miami. I was a big Sapp fan when he was with the Bucks, with the Braves, because I wanted him to get at Brett Favre back in the day, and he did. And but again, I don't know if he would have been the right fit at this time with Mario's staff.
No.
I just don't think he would have been, like I say, Dion put him on, and he'll do, what Dion need him to do.
Right.
As far as get that D-line together for Colorado. But he ain't going to try to outshine Dion.
Right. Well, he can't. Shoot, you're not going to outshine Dion.
If he came to Miami as alma mater, a part of him might come out that shouldn't come out.
Right.
I'm not judging the man, but I'm just saying,
Right, yeah.
It's a reason why you're not on this staff. Some people say, well, why ain't he on the staff? I'm like, I think that's why, It's certain. I kind of wanted Lamar Thomas to be the wide receiver coach, but in the past, Lamar was kind of known to be, you know, I don't want to say mildly, but I don't even want to say loud. Just maybe not the right fit. I like Lamar though. I like Lamar.
Right.
I like Lamar because he got dog in him.
Yeah.
Santana got dog in him. That don't mean he's gonna be a coach. I mean, look at Clinton Portis just got hired.
Shout out to Clinton Portis for getting on the Delaware State.
Portis, man. He got on. So I mean, just because you went to Miami don't mean you're gonna be a fit in Miami. That's the delusional thinking of some of our fan bases.
Right. Yeah.
Just go back and hire all the ex-Canes players to come coach.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're gonna have success on the field.
True.
Where did Dennis Erickson come from?
I don't know.
State or some shit. Washington.
I'm not sure.
Jimmy came from Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
You just, you can't just hire guys because they went to Miami to become coach. Just because Ed Reed played there don't mean Ed Reed, and shout out to Ed Reed because he got on somewhere too coaching.
Right.
That don't mean it might not be time for him now. Maybe 5 or 10 years from now, it'd be time for him.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right, we got about 11 people in the building. Smash that like button so we can get this out there. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. All right. This quote here from Cam Ward has been causing a little bit of stir in the NFL circles, and I'm going to read it to you. And I didn't think anything was wrong with it, but I quote, okay, you're either going to go to the draft, you're either going to draft me or you're not. If you don't draft me, that's your fault. You got to remember you're the same team that I got to play. They got to play me for the rest of my career. And I remember that. And some people took that in the NFL. It's kind of being cocky. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
He said nothing, no different than what Randy Moss said when all them teams passed him up, especially the Cowboys. Didn't he make the Cowboys pay?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones passed on Randy Moss.
Yeah.
And Randy was like, all right, I'm going to make you pay for that.
Yeah.
And what did he do?
I didn't see anything wrong with it.
The first time they played the Cowboys?
Yeah.
They scripted that game just for him to do that. All they told Randall was throw him the ball, and he murdered him.
Yeah.
I believe it was Monday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I ain't got no problem with what Cam said. I don't care what you Hokie fans. Some Hokie fans out there still butthurt about what happened last year. Y'all ain't got over there yet? Come on, man. I'm reading him. He quit at halftime. He only played in the bowl game to pad his stats. Ain't that why anybody play to make themselves look good before the combine?
Yes, sir.
Why am I playing then? I'm not playing to lose.
Right.
I'm not playing to come out here and be mediocre. I've been playing this good all season long. Now I'm going to come out in the bowl game and shit the bed like Dylan Gabriel did for Oregon.
Right.
He went to the Rose Bowl, and what'd he do?
Shit.
What did he do in the Rose Bowl? What Ohio didn't look like nothing.
Yeah, look like
they had the nerve to let him go to the Heisman. Anyway, I don't know what Cam said. Wasn't nothing wrong with Cam said. He basically saying if you're gonna pass me up, okay, that's just more fuel for my fire.
Right.
Because I came out of high school unranked. Nobody wanted me. I went to Incarnate Word. I transferred to Washington State. Nobody wanted me when I came out of Incarnate Word. Washington State took me. And then I transferred to Miami. And I showed you what I could do.
Right.
I could have went to any school in America and put those same kind of numbers up.
Right.
So now he's going to go to the next level. And he's telling you, hey, look, if you don't want to give me a chance, if you don't want to invest in me, I'm going to have to play you sometime in the league.
Yeah, and it ain't going to be pretty.
And if we're in the same division, I may have to play you twice in the season.
Right.
So I'm going to have to show you why you shouldn't have passed on me.
Right.
I got no problem. What you want me to say?
Right.
Why do people want these young folk to be not confident?
Yeah. And you know what? If you quiet and that's your demeanor, I'm cool with that. If you not and you braggadocious, I'm cool with that. As long as you can play.
That's who you are. If you are alpha,
yeah.
I don't care what line of work you are. If you're an alpha male, that's your persona.
Right.
No matter what you do for a living, you have some guys that are alphas like that and some guys that aren't.
Right.
And the alpha males are going to stand out.
Yeah. That's
just their personality. They've been that way since they were kids.
Right.
You can't turn it off now.
Right.
There's a difference between being confident and being the arrogant ones. You can tell who are the arrogant ones versus the ones who are confident.
Right. Right. True. True. That's it's interesting take.
Arrogant people overdo it. Arrogant people constantly push it in your face. Cocky people don't. They mention it once or twice, and then they go out and show you why. And then they can come back and say, I told you so. That's not cocky to me. That's just me saying, look, I told you I was this, and I showed you I was that, and now here it is. Where arrogant people, they just talk.
Right. I ain't showed you nothing. They talking before they even showed you.
Kind of like some of our leaders, they talk.
Right. All right, we're going to hop into this. Okay, yeah, we're going to hop into this Emory debate here. Okay, so I was reading an article about Emory Williams for you guys out there. And we all know that he's got a battle in the spring ball coming up. And consensus is if he doesn't get the number 2, he's probably going to transfer. And when I started reading the article, the interesting part, I did not know, and I just didn't think about this, that he actually wasn't recruited by Shannon Dawson. Now, Judd was, and of course, Luke was. So it makes sense, and you got to factor in the fact that this is 3rd year, and they didn't brought in 2 transfer portal guys in front of them. So I know that will probably make them feel some type of way, but it really hinges on his spring game, because technically we kind of, I want to say, yeah, we do kind of need him, because, you want to have 4 quarterbacks on your roster. Right now we got 3, so.
We got 4. There's another
Oh,
kid.
yeah, we do got 4. Okay.
We got a 4th guy. There's 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now.
I know we got
Emory was not a Shannon Dawson kid. He was a Diaz kid.
Right.
I believe Rhett Lashley was his last coordinator with Diaz before Diaz was let go, and Rhett Lashley took the job at SMU.
Right.
And that's when Mario came in with Shannon Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to say that Shannon Dawson doesn't like this boy or anything of that nature. They are the coaches. They see things we don't see.
Right.
Maybe Shannon Dawson sees something in his game that doesn't fit. That's why last year he didn't open the playbook up completely for him in those games that he started. Remember the game against Florida State?
Right.
He won the game against Clemson in October 23. But he didn't really open up the playbook for him because maybe there's some holes in his game. Maybe he doesn't fit
his style of
offense.
Yeah.
The fan base need to understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to understand that. Every quarterback is different.
Yeah.
So this Luke Fickle kid is supposed to be another Cam type dude that is an alpha, can improvise, that's got a mouthpiece on him. He ain't a pushover.
Right.
And I'm not saying Emory is. Van Dyke was, but Emory ain't.
Van Dyke was a little passive.
Van Dyke was a quiet dude.
Yeah.
He was a Mark Bulger type dude that if he in the pocket with protection and he didn't get hit and he could sling it. He could sling it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you started getting at him and punching him in his mouth a few times, all of a sudden he got butterfingers.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see in the spring. If he transfers, I ain't mad at him. If he don't transfer, hey man, that just shows you the boy want to stay. I don't want to push him out.
Right.
I don't want to push him out, man. I think this year is going to be different, Dwayne. I think this year the defense is going to be so much better than last year that they can kind of lean on this defense a little bit more this year. Last season, we had to lean on Cam Ward that offense. Every game, almost every drive, we expected some kind of points out of a drive. You didn't see him punt very often. I think the entire fan base, including myself, we got a little spoiled on the fact that every time they touch the ball, they driving down the field. They didn't punt very much. They got a touchdown or a field goal.
Right.
We got spoiled on that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so this year I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think the defense is going to be that much better, that where you can lean on them a little bit more.
Right.
Create turnovers to rain some hell on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's not going to go out there, and I think we're going to see a little bit more running game to relax things for Carson Beck. Because 2 years ago, Carson Beck had a better running game than what he had this past season.
got an interesting
Coach
thing.
Ponce. I remember
Yeah.
Coach Ponce. Okay.
Yeah, this is an interesting question too. It says how Emory gets his passes batted down with his height.
Because he's throwing down.
Yeah.
That might be a flaw in his game. Because he's tall. I think he's like 6'3" or 6'4". He's a tall kid. He ain't De'Aaron King at 5'10".
Right. Yeah. Right.
His passes wasn't getting knocked down that often.
Right. Oh, De'Aaron King, boy.
And he's the quarterback coach at SMU.
Yeah.
Go figure. He's going to be coaching Tyler Van Dyke.
The Tyler Van Dyke, yeah, I know it still shocks me. He went back there. Isn't that crazy?
Man,
he's coaching and y'all like
so many Hurricanes on that team, but Red Lashley saw, okay, y'all scraps gonna be my guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna make this work.
Hey, and he doing a good job over there.
Yeah, I ain't mad at him.
Right.
I don't think you're gonna see SMU in the thick of things this year, but I'm not saying they're gonna be a bad team.
Right.
They may not be no 10-2, 11-1 type squad this year, but I think they're gonna they got a good team.
Right. All right. I got all right. This is kind of interesting too. It says, I don't know if you heard that Texas canceled its spring game.
No, I did not.
Yeah. So Texas canceled its spring game, and then they're following suit with USC, Nebraska, Ohio State. Now they are alleging that they worried about tampering, but in other reports, it's coming out that since the spring portal was so close, they said that other schools are sending recruits out, and if you're showing out at the spring game, they're trying to get these guys that's maybe on the fence, to transfer out. So I just thought that was interesting with that.
This is the nature of this beast now. You're throwing that money out there.
Yeah.
You're throwing that money out there. And some of these kids, hey man, they come from families that's broke.
Yeah.
This is what it is, man. They coming from families that are broke, or it's just their mama and they mama working hard, and we didn't have much, and we putting all our pins and hopes on me. And we need some bread now. And if y'all giving out this NIL money and I'm the truth.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
and I'm just wondering, is that going to be the trend now? I would think, to me, you could still have the spring game, but some of these facilities you could have closed practice spring games where no cameras allowed.
Well, see, they don't want to do that. I think it's NCAA rules involved in that, and where the spring, and they want to, and here come the cable sports network.
Yeah,
they want to televise it, and you got real referees refereeing your practices.
Yeah,
and they refereeing the spring games.
Yeah.
So so I've always been saying this: that 4-letter word is a problem. That network is a problem, and they got their hands in all this. So I can see why Texas would say, "No, we ain't gonna have a spring game."
Yeah,
because they had a big recruiting class. They had the #1 recruiting class.
Right.
We don't need a Georgia or a Miami or an Ohio State or Michigan coming in here trying to pluck away our kids because they had a great spring, and they was trying to recruit them anyway.
Right. Yeah.
We got these kids locked inside. We're gonna keep our shit in the barn now. We're gonna keep everybody in our barn.
Right.
Away from the media's eyes and everybody else's eyes, and we're just gonna practice and forget a spring game.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that because it's all this money, Dwayne, is being thrown out here, man. It's all this money.
Yeah, it's so much money. I think he talked about Emory here.
I was just gonna say he telegraphed his throws. He did.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Another thing I want to touch on before you go, you mentioned Kevin Beard.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Sapp.
Yeah.
I want to touch on Will Harris, the new defensive backs coach in Miami.
Yeah.
And the rumors that were going around started by Florida Gator people. So the fan base, or our fan base, this channel knows this rumor was started by Florida Gator people that Will Harris was supposedly leaving Miami to go to the NFL.
And give him the site there, that started that rumor.
It's a dude on Facebook, and his page it's called the Florida Big 7 on Facebook, and they started this one. The moderator of that site started the rumor that he got wind of the fact that Coach Harris talked to somebody a Twitter guy that's a blogger for the Florida Gators that he was leaving Miami to go to the Saints.
Mm.
And there's no truth to that.
Right. Yeah.
There's no truth to Will Harris leaving to go. This is a bitter Florida Gator fan and fan base because they lost their defensive backs coach to Miami.
Right.
And that's not true. If that man was going to the Saints, he would have told Mario Cristobal more viable and legitimate sports news sources would have gotten wind of this.
Right.
Okay. I know Coach Coop talked about it. We're talking about it. And I want to put that out there that there it is, Silk. That's who started that rumor.
Silk from Stadium and Gale.
Yep.
And Gale.
He started that rumor that and he claims that Will Harris told him that.
Right.
Why would he talk to you and nobody else? Why would he not talk to Mario?
So I put up here and said, you say IT Silk is a real piece of ish.
But you got people in the fan bases at the Gators camp that they took this and ran with it.
Yeah.
They ran with it. And they were throwing it out there. And everybody wants to poke at Miami. I get that. And all fan bases do that. Auburn fans poke at Bama fans and what and so on and so forth.
Right.
This was just a falsity.
Yeah.
Altogether. Why would Will Harris tell this guy and not tell Mario Cristobal, who was either hiring him or already hired him? And if he's, like I told you, if he's under contract with Miami, that means the Saints would have to buy out his contract for him to go.
Right. Yeah. It just didn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. So,
just when I first heard it.
This page on Facebook, if any of y'all on this page, I commented to dude, I checked dude on what he was saying, and I said, I got to get out of here because if we're gonna talk about the sport and let's bring facts to the tables, and if there are rumors, at least say there are rumors. If we don't have any facts for it, bring some viable sources to the table.
Right.
Where you got your information from.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what I told you when I was talking to the guy about the Warren Sapp situation. And I just said, hey, well, show me the site or the source that says that Mario told him he wanted him to work 20 hours.
That's another one. I looked for that. I'm like, when did Mario ever say this? And Mario ain't gonna comment on that.
Right. True.
He's very smart. He's very smart about his injuries. He never comments about injuries. He don't ever tip his hand about nothing. And that's the best way to be. Just let people's minds wander. Let the imagination. He doesn't say anything until he's ready to say something. And then when he does say something, he only gives you enough that he wants you to know, and that's it. If you try to take it and spin it and twist it, and I don't believe that. I'm not going to believe that this man told Warren Sapp, you got to work 20 hours out of this.
Right. He didn't tell Warren Sapp. He told somebody.
Man, I work on the railroad, man. I work on the railroad. That's a very demanding line of work. And even our supervision ain't asked to do no shit like that.
Right. Like, come on now. Hey, he says he claims that he had a relationship with Harris. And even if he did, why would he just tell him? I mean, I still don't see.
Right. Why would he just tell you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't hire him.
Right.
And if he told you, it would have been out there for it would have been out there for SI, ESPN, CBS.
Right.
247 Sports. All the major sites would have been like, all the major outlets would have been like, hey, we heard nothing.
Yeah. He says Silk has resources but is known to Kane troll for Big 3 roll-up days. Okay, yeah. So that says it right there. Now, another question I want to throw at you. I read this article here too also. And I actually did a video when I first started this channel about Bill Belichick. And it was on Kane Sports about Bill Belichick bringing in an NFL style format, I will say, to college football. And
to North Carolina.
Yeah, to North Carolina. And the crazy thing about this is that that can mean a certain things. But when I read the article, it was talking about from recruiting. You know, he got I think the OC, he got the old head coach from Cleveland Browns, and some things like that. But even when I look back when I did that video a couple of months ago, it to me it's still hard because you're still dealing with 17, 18 years old kids that can still transfer on a dime. So I just want to know your take of what he thinks about, since he's never coached college football, first of all, to understand what he has to deal with these younger folks.
I think what he's trying, he's attempting this because money is involved now. So he's trying to come at it from a professional angle because now guys are getting paid.
Right.
In the past, you know, it's hard to cross over NFL coaches to college and college coaches to the NFL. You have some exceptions to the rules, like a Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
He comes to mind. He was successful in college. His first year, he bombed with the Cowboys, but then they won 2 Super Bowls back to back under him.
Right.
Want
to put that up there?
My man, he owned it, baby.
Yeah, that's no cloud on 3 Newberg. Oh man, I could tell you the K fans don't give that clown Newberg subscription.
There's a lot of them out there, boy. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think the jury's still out on Belichick. You're dealing with teenagers and very, very young adults who are still very immature.
Right.
We were all immature at that age. We all thought we knew it all. We were hard-headed with our fathers and whatnot. We thought we knew it all. And these young people today are not cut from the same cloth as we were.
Right.
I don't know. I just look. Miami doesn't play North Carolina this year.
Oh.
They got rid of Mac Brown. They fired Mac Brown. I don't know what North Carolina expects. North Carolina is never going to be a top-tier football program. As much as they try, you're not. You're going to always be overshadowed by your basketball program. You are a basketball school.
Right.
You are a basketball school. I'm sorry. They've been to the ACC title game. They lost. Mac Brown has some decent teams, but you're not going to get the best athletes to come to North Carolina. Not when they can go to Clemson or Florida State or Miami, or they can go to Georgia or South Carolina. South Carolina is a SEC school.
Right.
And that SEC badge brings some weight to it, whether we like it or not. And the kids that go to North Carolina, they may be good. They're good enough for D1 football.
Right.
But I don't see North Carolina in the upper echelons of even the ACC. They might be in the top third, but we know who the better teams are going to be in the ACC. It's going to continuously be Miami, Clemson, and I know Florida State going to turn it around. Yeah. Then you'll have middle of the pack. They are middle of the pack type school. The only school that I think has a remote chance of putting some really decent football teams together would be Louisville, because they've done it before.
And I think Bill is missing one point, one caveat about college football is that in the NFL, you can't control your destination as a player. And they have a tight grip on you with contracts and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In college football, these kids could be going just like that. And yeah, and I'm thinking he missing that caveat. And maybe he think he could offer them something, but you're dealing with young people, short attention span. They want to be on national TV.
Hard-headed.
You know, and you know, they could be playing good at a school, but if you ain't getting national attention or nothing like that, some of the kids, especially the upper echelon kids, they're out.
They out. I ain't gonna stay in North Carolina when I can go to Clemson.
Yeah.
Or I can go. Virginia Tech ain't what they used to be. I don't think they ever will be what they used to be.
Right.
I knew when Beamer left, I said, that's the end of Virginia Tech.
Right.
This ain't the Mike Vick days, and this ain't the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah. It said, you said 805K. Say, man, I think they messed up getting rid
I
of
think
Mac
they
Brown.
did too.
Yeah, I didn't
I
understand that
think they
either.
did too.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they did because he proved his success with Texas.
Yep,
Texas gonna always get better talent than North Carolina. It's North
yeah,
Carolina.
right, right,
Look,
uh,
you had some dudes that went there that were good.
right.
Okay, what was my man back in the 90s that played Dre Bly, cornerback?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
wasn't North Carolina.
yeah,
He was a rare exception.
right,
Lawrence Taylor was a rare exception.
right,
You're not going to get a whole squad full of cats like that in North Carolina.
right,
The basketball team you will, but not on the
right,
football team.
right. So yeah, that when I read the article, when I first saw the hire,
Most of the cats they had, man, I could think of that tight end that they had. That dude went to Detroit. His first name started with an E.
well, I
He-
thought you were gonna say Lawrence Taylor or something. Boy.
That's the 80s. LT was the 80s. Dre
Yeah,
Bly
I
was
know.
the 90s. This dude was a few years ago. He ended up got drafted. He played tight end for Detroit. He was a good tight end.
Right.
I can't think of nobody else that come out of North Carolina that resonates that, oh, he went in the league and I remember him. He was in the league.
Right.
Maybe a lineman or two, but linemen are obscure. You don't really hear about them because they linemen unless they
Right.
really up there.
Right.
So I think they made a mistake getting rid of Mac Brown. You know, you a university that's asking for too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with Duke. Duke want to have a nice football program. Okay, y'all gonna have a decent program, a 7-3, 8-4, maybe squad, maybe 9-3 if you play some weak out of conference teams, but you ain't gonna be up there with Miami and Clemson.
Somebody he said Mac Brown let James Madison score 70. Hey, James Madison scored 70 on a bunch of teams.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, they was out there putting up some numbers.
It wasn't just Mac Brown, though. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it got to do with again, your personnel. What do you expect? It's North Carolina.
Right, right.
You're not getting 5-star athletes that would normally go to Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah.
It's North Carolina.
Right. So I'm thinking.
I mean, you're supposed to get the best player in your state, or unless they go to NC State, you know. You should be fighting NC State for some of your best talent out of your state.
Right.
And hope that that Alabama or Virginia Tech or Georgia don't come in and say, hey, or Tennessee or Florida come in and snatch your best player.
Right.
You a basketball school.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm thinking when he meant NFL, maybe he's going to try to slow the game down. You know, NFL play is more balanced, you know, more running between the tackles. You know, well, depending on what style that you run, but
it depends on what kind of offense you run.
But we know him. He traditionally 2 tight ends, or 3 wide. You know,
under center with He might. That may work. We'll see. I mean, I think, in my opinion, what goes around comes around. I think all these teams today, college and high school, that run this shotgun spread, everybody do the same thing with a quarterback clap and all that shit. I think it's going to revolve back around to where the quarterback get on the center, and you see more of your traditional style football where the rubber reach the road and we're going to pound you. Yeah. And we still going to throw the ball because people want to see that. Like, they want to see the home run.
Yeah.
And they want to see the high flying dunks. But it's going to get back around to running the football and really good defense, because offense sells tickets and defense.
Well, isn't it amazing? Well, we got 14 people in the building. Smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. But is it amazing that in the
we did
college football
game? Well, you're right. I'm sorry.
In the college
we let Middle Tennessee. You're right. Manny Diaz and them did. No, that was Mario.
Yeah.
We did. That was embarrassing. I'm glad it happened, though.
Yeah. But is it amazing that when in the college football championship that you saw teams run the ball, you know, all that spread stuff and throwing it all over the field? When it came time for championship football, it basically, no matter what level you're on, you got to be able to run the ball and be physical on defensive
What did the
tackle.
Eagles do to the Chiefs?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even though they kept Saquon in check, the quarterback ran the ball.
yeah. This shit, Jalen Hurts ran all over them.
Ran
Shoot,
all over him because
yeah,
they were so worried about him.
yeah,
So I mean, I just see it evolving back around. You gonna always have some shotgun and run and shoot pass type. We've seen it all through the 80s with Montana, with Doug Williams, with Elway, Marino.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it. It's the team with the defense that's gonna win.
yeah, yeah. And
That's
I
why
want to.
I think Miami this year, I think they really putting the emphasis on the defense because I really think the defense is gonna turn it around.
Let's see what he says here. It says, "Hey, bro, I'm 48. Hey, happy young 48. I'm from North Florida, so I never could make it to the game. I finally got tickets to the football game for my birthday. North Carolina. Hey, as long as you at a Canes game, you at a Canes game. Hey, so no matter who they play, that's the way I always look at it. In 2020, how was the game when you went in 2020?
Shoot, 2020. That was a Diaz. They probably lost. That wasn't the game when they ran all over Miami. They set a college football record. That was embarrassing that day. ESPN had a field day. That was Mario's first year when they lost to Tennessee. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show you, Mario. Hey, when you start getting
a lot of them kids on that team, some of them kids was Manny kids, and
hey, you have that.
That showed him his personnel was knew horrible. He had to flip it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the same thing Deion had to do, Mario had to do.
Yeah, Mario had to do the same thing without all the flash that Deion came into Colorado. He flipped the whole squad. He told them boys, y'all out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the frustrating part when you deal with some of the fans, because like we go back to the question that was asked earlier at the beginning of the show, where he was like, is it Cam or Mario showing progression? It's kind of like Mario has showed improvement every year, and you got to have talent to progress. Now, he came in and he saw that the talent that he needed to get where he wanted to go wasn't there.
Right on 850, Cam.
Right.
Right on 850.
And he showed him the door. And that's what you have to do. You got to bring the guys in that fit your system. What's up out there, Rod? So, yeah. So you got to get the guys in. And like I said, the guys got to be patient. Now, like you said earlier, it's time for him to show. You getting the recruits now.
This is year 4. This is where it all come together now. This season. I don't care if they lose to Florida or Notre Dame. I don't care if they go 9-3. Win the ACC championship game. I expect 10 wins. I think that should be the bare minimum from here on out is 10 for this program. Because that's how it used to be. And he said he wants to get the program back to what it used to be. Right. So 10 wins should be the norm.
Right.
No more losing to teams like a North Carolina or Wake Forest or Duke or Georgia Tech. That is out.
Right.
Okay. I expect Florida State to have a good team. I don't want Florida State to be bad.
Right.
I don't want them to be bad. I don't want Florida to be bad. I want to be able to beat teams that are good. I expect the Florida teams to be good. Okay.
Right.
Win the ACC title game. Don't just get there and then lose it. No.
Right.
This is the year for Mario to win this thing now. Win the ACC. You won 2 Pac-12 titles with Oregon in 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You won the Rose Bowl out there before all this 12-game thing we got now.
Right.
This is the year Mario needs to win the ACC championship game. And then after that, in the playoff, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is time for him.
I think the fan base needs to really pay attention to the defense this year. I think the defense is going to carry more of the load this year. I think Carson Beck is going to do what he does.
Yeah.
I'm not, like I said last week, I'm not worried about the offense. I'm not, as long as that young man is healthy, and as long as Mario keeps the trenches right, people need to understand something.
The trenches is
The trenches is the most important thing.
And it's right. Hey, offensively,
if that line is right, if that line is right, I'm running that ball when I want to. I'm pass protecting like I want to.
Right.
We good.
Right.
I like the receivers we got. The defense is where it's going to be. That's where I want to see the defense.
Yeah.
This fan base needs to relax. Put Cam behind you. It was great last year. If you want to watch the highlights, go ahead. It's great. But don't bring that shit up now. Talking about, Cam, listen, Cam was last year.
Right.
This is where we want to see Mario make his progressions as a coach.
Right.
He's shown you he can make the progression as a coach with hiring new subordinates, i.e. new coaches, position coaches, and whatnot to turn this defense around. We cannot go out here and put up 48 points and win by 2.
Right.
Okay? Or have to beat Louisville 52-48 or whatever it was when they was up by 2 touchdowns and they still come right back down. We can't have it anymore.
Right.
We did that. Let's see how the defense does. I really believe that this defense is going to be so much better this year that the offense, I'm not going to say they're going to take a break. They can play a different style now where they don't have to play from behind, which they never really play from behind, but they don't have to be in such a constantly throwing the ball. We keep scoring and keep scoring.
They need to be more balanced because, like I said before, they put a lot of pressure on their defense too because they were scoring so quick, and that defense was back on the field.
And
so
giving up something.
Yeah, so it puts a lot of pressure when you do score quick, and a lot of people don't take that in the factor that the quicker you score, the quicker that defense got to go back out there, and you got to have guys that's conditioned to either play that type of style. If you got to have the horses to play that type of style too,
I mean, very few defenses are impenetrable.
Right.
Even with the 0-1 team, as good as they were, when they played the better teams, they got challenged. They got challenged by Florida State. They got challenged by Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. Now, this is back when Tech was good, but they got challenged.
Right.
They're not going to – so you're not going to stop everybody.
Right.
But you want to be able to go out there and make the stops you need to stop. And I think they have the personnel now and the coaches in place to do that.
Right.
I think you'll see more zone defense this year. I think you'll see which will free up that defensive line.
Right.
Once that D line get freed up to eat, then all of us as a fan base we'll see it then, because last year I specifically watched Bain. Even coming back, I knew he wasn't 100%, but he was so close so many times, so close. So close. And I thought, you know what? Another second by the secondary, and he gets to the quarterback.
Right.
Another second or two from the corners and safeties, and that man, but the opposing quarterback could throw it because they was open.
Yeah, wide open.
So Bain he was out there working hard. All them D-boys was on the line was working.
Right.
And you had some real studs. Your man from Tennessee.
Yeah.
The one cat that came from Michigan State, he gone. You had some studs out there on the D-line. Your back end failed you. Okay, like I said, that's behind us now.
Yeah,
that's behind us. Cam is behind us. I like Will Harris. I like the D coordinator coming in. I like that moxie and attitude they bring into the table. I like the personnel they brought in on the secondary off the transfer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That secondary is going to be you didn't flip that secondary.
Yeah, big time.
Flipped it. You done went to having one of the worst secondaries in the country to maybe the best secondary in the ACC.
Right.
So I'll take that. Let's see what we can do with that going into this season. And please, Miami fans, please put Cam to bed. I love Cam Ward. I had to put Dorsey to bed.
Yeah.
I find myself going back watching 99 and 2000. I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I love this, but I know it'll never be that way again because
Right.
that time, that attitude, those players, everything, that's a different time. This is now.
And with the Will Harris thing, the funny part I thought about when I was reading that article, going back to that, it's kind of like, are we living rent free in Florida's head? Is it some truth to?
Absolutely.
Is it some truth to
That
like?
ass whooping they took last August 31st, they'll never get over that. They're not getting over that because they can't come into Miami and do that.
Right.
They're not gonna come in here later this year and do that.
Right.
They might get a win. I'm not saying but they're not gonna whoop Miami like Miami went down there and whooped them.
Yeah, and
I
embarrassing.
enjoyed watching the highlights for that because I sat right here in my base and I was like, wow. I was like, wow. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And I was fooled by the defense then because I was like, they had Mertz at quarterback, they had their running back playing, they had all their top players and and I was a little nervous. I'm like, man, we in the swamp. They got all their guys, all the media, everybody against Miami, and they went down there and spanked them boys.
Yeah.
And they told all their recruits, you don't want to go to Florida, come here.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, you in their heads rent free.
You say Mark Fletcher might have 10 touchdowns this year.
I hope he has more than that.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna share the rock with Lyle. I think that Lyle kid is gonna really shine. So if he get 10 and Lyle get 6 or 8,
right? Yeah,
I take it. Hey man, that means if they get them kind of touchdowns, that means that line blocking.
Yeah.
That line blocking, that means Carson Beck ain't hurt. He got protection. And I think that tight end play, them 2 tight ends Miami got.
Yeah.
If they anywhere playing, if what's his name?
Which one?
Elijah.
Yeah.
No, is that his name? The boy coming back? Not a Royal. Royal going to the people.
No. Lofton.
The next kid, number 9, that was the freshman. Him and the dude they got out the portal. If they could play half as good as Brock Bowers did and get open and be a target, man, watch out. Watch out. I'm telling you, Carson Beck did the right thing. He might have a breakout season.
Hey, he might.
He might have a breakout season. And he gonna put the rest to bed, all that negative talk. And he don't have enough weapons. And I don't even go on Twitter.
Nah.
I don't even go on Twitter because I know I don't have to go on Twitter because all the naysayers, all the negative stuff that other people gonna post on Facebook and Instagram about what this dude said on 247 or what they might say here.
Yeah,
you got a lot of Gator haters out there. They don't need to be worried about us. Y'all need to worry about Tennessee. You need to worry about Missouri and South Carolina in the SEC for real.
Instead of worrying about us. And another big thing,
you better worry about your SEC opponents.
And another big thing in the news is that people are ecstatic. They got Jackson Cantwell. That's been hitting all the sites about him coming and saying we're back in play. Of course, it's going to be an uphill climb with Georgia, Mizzou, a couple other schools out there trying to get him. But like I say, Mario keep plugging away trying to get this boy here. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Are you talking about the kid from Nixa?
Yeah,
down in Missouri.
Yeah,
and I just saw that he was down there and he coming back.
Yeah, he coming back. He scheduled an OV, an official visit.
I give Miami. Look, they got the 2 number 1 tackles a couple years ago. Remember, both of them 1 and 2 in the nation. Mario if he can land this boy, shoot.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like if he could pull this off,
I got all the faith in the world. I give him as good a chance as any to get him.
Yeah,
that's his specialty.
Yeah,
he could walk in the living room and say, "Dude, I'm putting you in the league, man. I'm gonna develop you. You go into the league.
Yeah,
you are going in the NFL with me."
Yeah, so there's gonna be
that's his thing, man.
That's gonna be real.
Who going up in the draft now this year? That's graduated.
Francisco?
No, he gonna be a junior this year.
Oh, I'm thinking of his brother. The lineman. Oh shit, what is his name? What's the lineman out there in the chat that's going in the draft this year? I probably got it written down here.
He's going in the draft. He graduated. He's going to graduate. He's going in the draft. He might even be a first round pick. I doubt it, but he might be a second round pick.
You got
Rivers.
Oh,
there it is.
yeah, Jalen Rivers.
Rivers.
Yep.
That's him.
Yep.
He going pro. He going, and I'm interested to see where he go. What round he go in? He gonna get drafted.
Yeah.
I say second round. If he end up being a first round pick, I wouldn't be too surprised. But I think he's definitely a second round pick.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed money.
Yeah. And I'm wondering how the recruiting going with Javari Flowers also, because that's another one that they really, really trying to lock up. Because I don't think he's committed to anybody, has he?
Nope.
So
he is either.
Yeah,
when it comes to the line, I all bets are off if Mario walk in the room, because him and the O-line coach, Mirabal.
Yeah, Mirabal.
Them dudes are lethal when it comes to recruiting and technique and getting guys developed for that line. That's where it is. That was the difference between Manny Diaz and Mario Cristobal. Diaz had some talent.
Right. Diaz had talent.
Dudes, but that line wasn't that line. Derek King running for his life, and he already 5'5". I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh, Derek, boy, I tell you.
I like Derek. He put up good. He put up some nice numbers. He was pretty good in Houston, but you got to have that line. You and I both know that.
Yeah.
To have that line. If you got that line, all bets are off now.
Yeah.
And like I said, what sold it for me is when Saban said last year, when he walked into Miami's locker room, it looked like an SEC offensive line. They was all some big.
Yeah, there's some big boys.
Some monster boys. They wasn't just some big fat dudes. They was big built, 6'4", 6'5", 300+ pound dudes that could move people.
Right.
And again, going back to that spread type offense, I like Brian McKinney, because Brian McKinney always said this right here, your hands. Right. A lot of offensive line play is your hands. And the only problem I got with shotgun offense is when it comes to run plays.
Yeah.
You in a 2-foot stance, like a pass stance, especially the tackles.
Right.
And as soon as the ball hike, you backstepping. I like my linemen in a 3-point stance where they firing off the ball, and I'm taking the fight to the defensive tackle or the defensive end. I'm taking the push toward that defender, toward that linebacker. I like that style of football,
especially short yardage. I just can't get the.
I don't like guns inside the 10-yard line and 5-yard line, and no. I want a well-tuned offense that I can get down in 3-point stance, and my quarterback can get under center, and he don't look nervous, and a running play is coming, and I don't make it so damn obvious to you because I'm such a pass. That's why I think this year is going to be a little different on the offense. They're going to have a little bit more run involved because Cam was, and I'm not taking nothing away from Beck as a passer. Cam was so good as a passer that we wanted to see him throw the ball.
Yeah.
We'd like to see Lyle. We'd like to see Fletcher. We wanted to see Martinez, and Martinez got better as the season went on.
Yeah, he was
but
running
we
that
love
time.
to see Cam throw that ball.
Yeah,
it just looks so nice with him throwing that ball.
Right.
It looks so nice throwing that rock. Everybody wanted to see that, and I think this year the pass is gonna get dialed back a little bit. You're gonna see a little bit more of Fletcher. You're gonna see a little bit more of Lyle.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see some different single and double back sets. You might see a little I formation, which I wouldn't be opposed to.
And that line built to run the ball. That's a big offensive line.
Oh man,
yeah, it's a big line.
Hey, listen, fans. I like some bully football.
Yes, sir.
I like some bully football because if I can beat you up for a while, come the fourth quarter, I'm gonna find out who's tired now.
Yeah. Remember
when Nebraska beat Miami in '95?
Yeah.
Warren Sapp and them played their butts off, but by the fourth quarter, they was huffing and puffing because Nebraska O-line was killing them.
Yeah. Was that wasn't Lawrence Phillips'
94.
year? Was that Lawrence Phillips' year? I can't remember who was running the ball for.
I don't know if he was a freshman or not, but I just know that was what old boy was at quarterback. And by the fourth quarter, Miami was gassed.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you, if I beat up on you with that line all game by the fourth quarter, when you over there huffing and puffing on, holding on one knee,
right,
and my guy's still just standing here ready to eat some more.
Yeah, he said more two-back set, please.
Sets.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, I agree there.
Split back sets, I formation back sets, and then you know what? Put somebody in motion.
And that goes to, I remember somebody asked us a couple of lives ago about being soft. Now, when you run in power formations and stuff, physical, you know, and it kind of takes on the trademark of the team too. You know, you playing smash mouth football.
Yeah, I might have to punt. I may have to punt from time to time. I might not always get a first down. I make it, but you know what? Okay, I'm giving my defense a chance to rest.
Yeah,
I'm giving my running back some touches. Yeah, and I'm letting my line get some reps in here blocking to see what I can do against. If I can make you come up, bring your linebackers up, creep your safeties up some more. So I can Shannon Dawson can open up the playbook and start throwing some play action pass out there. Hey, the play action pass is still very lethal to the tight end. It worked quite well with Shockey and Winslow and Bubba Franks.
Yeah, and Bubba, yeah.
It worked. It worked with Olsen.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
It'll still work today. I'm gonna run and have you cheat your defense up every time you keep creeping up for this run, and I'm gonna hit you. And Carson Beck can hit you. And I think Shannon Dawson also was looking at the Georgia offense from 2 years ago.
Yeah. Seeing his tendencies and stuff. Yeah.
I'm very sure they're watching film together from what he did 2 years ago with Brock Bowers, and he had McConkey out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're looking at that.
Yes. And trying to figure out what better was
he's not going to try to
traits.
He's not going to put Beck in Cam's offense completely. But he did Cam a different quarterback.
Right.
He's going to look and see what he did at Georgia, what's similar to what he has in his playbook, make adjustments, implement some of that. My man was healthy. That was the running back for Georgia 2 years ago. That was he there? The transfer from Florida.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Brother in the league, the running back. His brother played for Jacksonville.
Oh, you talking about
ETN?
Not ETN. Yeah, okay, yeah. ETN.
Last year wasn't ETN first year at Georgia. I think that was his second year at Georgia. Yeah. His first year was the year they had McConkey and Brock Bowers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a much better season running the ball that year. And Georgia had a better offensive line in 23.
Right.
So I think everything lining up for him, for Dawson and for Beck, the whole offense.
Right.
So we just need to see, let the boy arm heal and let it go.
Yeah, we got 20 people in the building right now. Smash that like button. And if you ain't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. So, we're going to stay on the Miami Hurricanes.
I want to make sure I'm factually correct.
Okay, go ahead there.
Last year, his first year ETN, or was it his second year there?
He had 1 year at Georgia.
My man said he had 1 year there. Was that last year? Because he was hurt most of last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Talk about ETN, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about ETN.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I want to make sure I'm right. I don't want to put out the wrong information and be incorrect out here. I'm not.
He said 2024. He put 2024. But yeah, they will, like I say, dig into the tapes, find out his tendencies, figure out what he like and what he doesn't like in the playbook, try to put him in the best situation so he can succeed. When you look at some of his Georgia tape, even though Bowers was not the traditional tight end, you could split him out when he was there, which you could do the same thing with our tight end. Okay. You could split him out. You can run him almost basically as a receiver. You could bring him out the backfield. You got a lot of matchup problems that you can, that you could do,
Okay, that was ETN's first. He did transfer after the 23 season. He left Florida and went to Georgia, and that was last year. It was his first year with Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And he was hurt most of the year anyway, and he wasn't that effective Well, he was another kid that left Florida because he thought the grass was green at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids, my man from Missouri did that. He left Missouri because he thought the grass was green at
Love
Georgia.
it. Yep.
The wide receiver from Miami that left Miami because he thought the grass was green at Georgia. Everybody thought the Georgia was the next Alabama. See, that's how the kids are today.
Yeah.
That's how some of them, hey, I'm not winning here. I'm going over there.
Yeah. Oh, and and in some parts you are winning, you're just not winning at the clip that they perceive. That's the thing. It's like, even when if you transferring for a 10-win team to go to Georgia just because the quarterback going to the pros, then it's kind of like, come on, man. Come on now. I don't get it.
I'm wondering if my man from Miami Horton made a mistake transferring to Alabama.
Well, that's what I was talking about. It's kind of like
I'm wondering did he make a mistake, because I know he bounced because Cam left and he figured, maybe he thought, oh boy, what's his name, Milroe was going to stay at Alabama, but he went in the league. So I don't know who Alabama's quarterback going to be coming in.
Gunner Stockton. That's going to be their quarterback.
Is he?
Well, that's who played in the championship game, in Gunner Stockton.
For Bama?
Nah, from Georgia. For Georgia, that was the Georgia quarterback.
I said Horton went to Alabama.
Oh, I'm tripping. I thought you said Georgia. Okay.
No, he transferred to Alabama. Remember?
Yeah. Oh,
everybody was. I was shocked. I'm like, because he was clearly going to be the #1 receiver at Miami. I'm like, why he leave to go to? He must have thought Milroe was staying. I'm like, who's going to be Bama's quarterback now that I'm wondering if he think he messed up because now that Beck is at Miami.
Yeah.
He took an NIL deal with Bama. I don't think there's no reversing that. He can't change his mind and come back.
Yeah, I don't know the legal ramifications, but again, what my thinking was, already played in the system and you know how Mario is. If Mario went out and got you, Cam, don't you think that you in your mind like, hey, he might go out there and get another top tier quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Before you transfer out, like wait and see type.
I think Mario, if he go out and get anybody, it ain't a quarterback. He gonna try.
No, I'm talking about before he left to go to Alabama. That was saying he should have been waiting to see what Mario was going to do before he transferred.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. That's the point I'm making.
Well, again, young, impulsive. I mean, I ain't gonna knock the boy. He made his decision. I hope it work out for him in Alabama. I hope he have a great year for Alabama. I hope he put up the numbers he want to put up. And I thought he was a dog. I thought, man, we got a dog at receiver coming back.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if TW said he wanted was money the main motivation. Hey, what I always say, it's always about the money.
For all of us, why the hell do we work on Monday morning? Money.
Yeah, it's always about the money.
Work on the railroad because that's what I want to do. That ain't what I aspire to do in my life, but money.
Right.
It was the money.
Right.
Yeah. If I'm getting paid a bag, losing ain't gonna be so bad if I'm still getting paid.
Right.
If I ain't getting paid and I mess around and got on a team that I'm not playing, or we losing and I'm not getting the touches I want and putting up the kind of numbers I'm capable of. And if in the old days, if I transfer, I got to sit out a year. And
which I still think of some of that going to come back because they try to get a handle on this, but we don't know how they're going to do that. Yeah, Horton he would have been a #1.
He ain't no coulda. He would have been.
Yeah.
He would have been receiver #1. Then they probably wouldn't have went out and got old boy from LSU. They might have.
They might have because they still try to get another receiver, we think.
Then you would have had a nice one too.
Yeah. We still thinking they're going to go out and get another receiver.
I'm looking at this screen. Hey, JoJo Trader ain't no joke. He showed you in that bowl game. He bound to break out.
Yeah.
And that Joshua Moore kid I've been talking about, Ray. Now they got some, dude. They got some nice receivers coming in.
Yeah.
They might go out and get one more receiver in the portal, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and get another linebacker.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a really good backer out there.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and get another running back.
That could be I can see that because you lost Allen. I hated losing 8. Where'd he go?
Right.
Where did Allen go?
Who was that?
AJ Allen. They came from Nebraska that played in Miami the last 2 years. He was nice. Dog.
Yeah.
Damn, where'd he go? We talked about it last week. They could go out and get another back.
I think so. I think they might, but I'm not really sure. This is from FTW. It says being positioned for the NFL should be the main motivation, in my opinion. You talking in part to him transferring out, or just in general? Just
no, it's a motivation if you are NFL level talent. Like we said last week, every kid is not going to go pro.
Right.
So if you know if they're telling you, and these kids are being advised,
right,
they're not guessing, well, am I or am I not? You're being told right away, hey, look, you're either going to get in the league or you're not.
Yeah.
At whatever sport you're playing.
True.
If you're next level talent. So if they're telling you that you have the potential to be in the next level, then that should be your motivating factor. If you have a chance to get to the league, that's my motivation. The money gonna come. Just let me get signed to a professional team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some guys just, if they could just make the practice squad, hey, I'm on the practice because I can get called up at any time.
Right.
But to see now the NFL is politics and
it goes back to even we talk about the positioning yourself from the NFL. That's why we so hard on Lovett, because to me, well, and we talk about Lovett that played for Mizzou and then went to Georgia.
Dominic Lovett, yep.
To me, if he'd have stayed, he would have been in a better position at Mizzou than he would have going to Alabama.
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah. He
had some of them drops for Carson Beck.
Yeah. And you scrutinize more, now.
I understand you played on a couple Mizzou teams that lost to Georgia. That overtime lost to Georgia in October of 22. That bites. Yeah. I remember that game. Missouri should have won that game, but he was on that team. And then the next, what was that? That might have been 23, October 23.
No, it was 2 years ago. It was about 2 years. Well, 2 years ago.
I was at the Riverview picnic that night, watching that game in the cold. And Missouri should have won that. They kept Georgia shut down the whole game.
Yep.
And then Georgia got that in the fourth quarter. They had a false start by the wide receiver, and the ref missed it. They ain't called, and then they ended up scoring to tie the game and went to overtime.
Right.
And Lovett was on that team. But anyway, after a couple of years of that, and then when they signed Luther,
right,
he played 1 year with Luther, and then he decided to go to Georgia.
Yeah,
because the consensus was Saban's leaving. They lost Saban's last year. They lost to Georgia. Georgia's going to flip flop with them and be the next dominant school in the SEC. And it just goes to show you, no, they're not.
It didn't work out. And that was the thing that we're talking about, guys that transfer. So sometimes, you could position yourself for the NFL, but it's still a crapshoot. When you transfer out. Because
like I said, it's a crapshoot. The SEC is open. I think South Carolina, Florida, Texas is a Big 12 school to me, but still they've come in there.
Yeah.
And they got the number one high school. They got the number one signing class.
Yeah.
And Sarkisian is trying to position himself to where, okay.
And they was built kind of to go, to the SEC. They had that big monster offensive line and stuff.
They've always had that.
Yeah,
back in the Ricky Williams days,
so
12 days, Texas was always a big, big.
And that's why I like Miami, because it all starts. We could talk about all the receivers and all the running back. That line is the most impressive thing to me. When I watched them, and I watched Cam not get touched a lot. People forget Cam had hella time back there throwing the ball.
Only time he got touched is when they had the blitz.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he had hella time, and your backs was running through holes. So when you got that offensive line, man.
He went to Florida International. I ain't mad at him. He gonna put up some numbers at Florida International.
AJ Allen. Yeah.
He trying to get seen. I don't blame him. Go ahead, man.
Right. Yeah.
I ain't mad at him. He trying to get seen.
Yeah.
FIU, oh yeah, he gonna put up some stupid numbers with them.
Hey, like I say, if you a talent, you're gonna get seen no matter where you at. That's always been my motto. I don't care where you at. You look in the league, you see guys from all over, from north to east, south to west, you know. So if you could ball, the NFL gonna find you.
Exactly.
You know, that's what it all boils down to.
It's guys at HBCUs that we don't even hear about.
Right.
They're gonna get drafted.
Right. Yeah.
They're gonna
we
get
don't see
drafted.
every day. Yeah.
They're gonna get drafted because they ballers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just looking at that offensive line and their return, we already covered that the defensive line and that secondary is the most important. The secondary gotta turn around. That defensive line gotta play a little bit more physical, and I think they're gonna be.
I think the physicality of the D line is there, and they're gonna have, with the secondary being stronger, I think they'll get home a lot more on these.
A lot more.
And I think it'll free up the middle linebacker to play the run better. You know, Marinoga at the linebacker spot, he had such a great first year, but like I said, it went south his second year because he had to do things last year that he didn't do in 23.
Wasn't accustomed doing, yeah.
Because in 23, you had them two safeties behind you that are in the NFL now.
Right. Yeah.
I've said that last week. You lost those safeties, and that really hurt that secondary.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that line they got. You know, Mark Bell at left tackle, McCoy at left guard, the transfer guy at center, Anez Cooper at right guard. Cooper, a big dude. Cooper, a monster.
Monster.
That right side of the line, that might be the line where Lyle and Fletcher get a lot of yardage running the rock on that right side.
Yeah.
You got some real dude. You got some monsters. I mean, I ain't taking nothing away from the left side, but that right side,
right.
You know, oh man.
Yeah.
You got two potential first round draft picks right there on that right side of that line.
Right.
You better hope and pray that these boys don't decide to bounce after this next season.
Right. Yeah.
That's why they want to go after that kid in Nixa.
Right.
And a couple other big ones because
at IMG
they might be after their junior year, they might be done. They might be going to the league cats.
Yeah.
I know Cooper for sure.
Yeah.
When I saw him, how big he was, I said, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, they got some big floors.
And this is his junior year for Francis.
Yeah,
he is, dude.
Yeah, on. So that line big, and if they get
behind that right, I'm running behind that right side, bro.
Yeah, if they get Cantwell, and then the other, I think it's Coloco, or
however you know, IMG.
The kid at IMG, which I look forward to see them playing. Well, IMG doesn't play here this year. They play
East St. Louis play down there.
They play down there, but I think they play
playing 4 or 5 teams. They playing
Ormwood too.
They playing Bishop Gorman. They playing IMG. They playing 4 or 5. I saw their schedule, bro.
Yeah, I think they playing Ormwood too. So I think they playing them here. I think
Eastside playing some. They putting themselves up there. I try to tell all my friends in South Florida. I know South Florida don't sleep on East St. Louis.
They got talent.
Don't sleep on the Flyers.
Well, and you know the funny part, that is the pipeline when you playing a lot of Florida teams. You know, when you playing those Florida teams, then Mario get to see the talent up here in the Midwest, and you know they playing these nationally ranked schedules. So
he knows he got to come out of Florida a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why this kid down in Nixa.
Yeah.
I know he's a priority for Mario.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get down there. A game is only a couple of hours from here. Maybe go catch one of his games and see what he's looking like down there in person. So
you talking about down in Nixa?
Yeah, down in Nixa. Yeah. Try to catch one of their games this year. See what he's looking like. Like to see him in person. Big boy, 6'7", 300. So shit. That's a big boy.
That's 2 inches shorter than McKinney. I mean, and I think another place where people don't look is at the junior college level.
Yeah, yeah. And that's big recruiting. Yeah, that was Jeff Thomas stomping grounds. This was because he said,
Yep.
"What's that?"
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 89 blocks. 89 blocks. If you ever seen the documentary. That's where Brian McKinney come out of. A
yeah,
JUCO.
yeah.
So Mario, he gonna find the diamonds in the rough anywhere in the country.
Right.
You know, you're not gonna get all of them. You know, but
Right.
even that center that was from Mississippi, he originally committed to Miami, then he decommitted, and he went back to Ole Miss.
Right.
He was a good one, and I was shocked that Miami got him.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that Mario can walk into the room when it comes to an offensive lineman, and automatically I'm going to say he has a better than 50% chance of getting that kid.
Right. We got
Just off
23
of who
people
he
in the
is.
field to smash that like button. I'm sorry, there. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. I wanted to touch real quick back on the Jeff Thomas. Tell those people out there that don't know. We know we had a choppy history with Miami, but up here around this area in the Midwest, hey, Jeff was the truth. You know.
Some people say Jeff was a head case. Even in high school, he was a head case. They say, just watch the documentary 89 Blocks. He was nice. There's a reason why when he decommitted from Miami, remember when he decommitted or he was transferring to Illinois, and Manny Diaz allegedly flew to Champaign, Illinois in person to get him back on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why things didn't pan out for him in the league. I know it's politics in NFL, but
right,
man, everybody rave about my man Smith with the Eagles, and I ain't taking nothing away from Smith.
Devontae?
Yeah, Devontae, but Jeff Thomas was as good or better than him in college.
Yeah.
I mean, Devontae was cool, but I never thought Devontae was better than Peter Warrick or Santana Moss, in my opinion.
Okay.
I thought Santana and Peter Warrick were better than Devontae Smith because we in a different time of football with different rules and whatnot.
Right, right.
But Jeff Thomas was right there on that level of a Devontae Smith. And he showed you, I mean, that punt return against Virginia Tech. I mean, he showed you some flash,
right?
You know, of what, you know, and now he dropped that touchdown against the Gators in that season opener back in, what was that, 19? He dropped as a freshman, he dropped that touchdown, but hey, my man was nice.
Yeah.
But I like that Mario is getting outside the state and he's going after the linemen out there that fit his mold,
right?
Of what he wants,
and
what he needs up front. And like I said, Inez Cooper and Francis Marioga, they're going to be, if they may leave after this year, and he knows he's going to have to get some more plug and play type big dudes that just ain't bodies. They really are
about that. Yeah,
about that life.
Yeah,
you know, you still got Salmon. What's his name? He was Mr. Football Okinola.
Yeah.
He might be he's gonna be battling for that left guard spot with Matt McCoy. So it's he got that line is where it's at. We both say that. We both agree on that.
Yeah, that line is where it's at. And like I say, that's nothing to take away from the skill players, but you can have the best skill players.
Is a JUCO guy.
Yeah,
he's your potential starting left tackle, Markel Bell. He's a JUCO guy. He a big dude.
Yeah.
He a big dude because like you got, and that tight end, like I said, you got Lofton and you got Bauman. And this Bauman kid coming in. And then the other dude they got at tight end, he's more of a blocking tight end. But this Bauman kid, he kind of has the build and the size of a Gronk.
Yeah.
Of a Brock Bowers. And Elijah Lofton is Mr. Everything. He can be tight end. I can put him at running back. I can put him at full. I can put him in the backfield with a 2-back set. You know, I can split him out wide as a receiver. He's an athlete.
Right.
He's a big athlete. He reminds me of Najee.
Yeah.
Big but fast.
Right. I always forget about old Najee.
Everybody forget about Najee.
They said if he had a better QB, Thomas and Richards' history would have been different. What do you think about that? Yeah. Who was quarterback with when Jeff was there? Who was the quarterback when Jeff Thomas was there?
It was under Manny. It wasn't. I ain't gonna say it was. It wasn't De'Eric. No, De'Eric came later.
Yeah, who was the quarterback in the chat when Jeff Thomas was there? Let us know.
2019 season. I think that was that 19 or 20 when they had the opener again?
Rozier. Oh, damn, I forgot all about Rozier.
Was it Rozier? No.
You said Rozier.
No, Rozier came after Kaya. They was 10-0 in 17.
Jeez, I forgot all 18. About Rozier.
I ain't forget about him. That's a good damn question. See, them the years I want to forget.
He said Perry and Rozier.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did have Perry out there.
Yeah.
Yep. Perry was out. Yep, Perry was out.
I remember there. Perry. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because Perry, Thomas had that touchdown against Florida State when I was at that game when they wore the all green, when they was behind real bad. And then old boy was that tight end that came from Bishop Gorman. He in the league for Houston, for the Texans. Yeah.
Somebody say, Steve said he can't remember the QB name, but supposedly went to the club the night before the game.
You're probably right.
Yeah, you're probably right. Was you in the club with him, Steve?
See. I told you that's why old boy went to Oklahoma and didn't come to Miami. All the players wanted to do was take him down to South Beach and let's go in the club.
Yeah, man.
Jalen Hurts, he came to Miami. He was considering Miami. And then Saban said, no, you better go to Oklahoma.
Yeah, it might be a little bit.
Their priorities a little bit better.
Yeah. Say that DIS days there. So it says, remember the pick game when Rozier missed Thomas deep down the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, I swear I forgot about Rozier.
I like Malik Rozier.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a really good quarterback coach. He is coaching like high school kids and stuff. I think he wouldn't be a bad coach. You know, just because you wasn't that great in college don't mean you can't be a good coach.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, look at De'Eric King. He coaching. He helping get that boy. And that boy coming back for SMU at quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn,
he coming back. He ain't going to have all the same weapons, but.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if Rooster going to be playing for them this year because he was hurt last year for them.
He probably will.
I like Rooster. I like him. He bounced.
A lot of people in Miami loved it. Didn't want to see him go.
I thought Rooster had heart, man.
Yeah.
He left for some reason. He left when Manny came in. I mean, when Mario came in. When Mario came in, you knew that the shit was going. Whatever was going to fall off, fell off. That's why I said about your boy Nestor.
Yeah.
Silvera bounced immediately because he knew. You ain't gonna get all them antics off here like he was doing before. All this
right, yeah.
At the end of the play and all this mouthiness and getting late flags and man, that's.
And you remember, I just remember how even the commentators, and I had to admit we were not disciplined under Mario. You know, we took a lot of bad penalties, just a lot of just negativity on the field at times. That
Manny,
really
Manny did.
Yeah.
What helped Manny was. Lashley was the OC, and Lashley was a real good offensive coordinator.
Right.
And he had athletes like it was just after a while, Manny's defense wasn't no good.
Yeah. And it's
how
crazy.
ironic, and how ironic, Al Golden was the defensive coordinator for who was he D coordinator for? Was it Penn State or Notre Dame?
Golden.
I want to say it was
somebody say Jared Williams.
I remember Jared Williams.
Yeah, I remember Jared.
I remember him. He had that nice game against Florida State. He hooked up with Jeff Thomas in that game.
Yeah, I remember Jared.
Jared Williams. He ended up transferring to FAU.
The crazy thing about the comments that I'm seeing now is that dawns on me is that we listed all these quarterbacks, but this is not the tradition of Miami. The tradition is getting these big home run hitters like we got with Cam, Carson Beck, back at Steve Walsh, back at Brad. You getting these
Dorsey, Testaverde.
Yeah, getting these guys that that, and it's nothing to take away from them. I'm just saying that we known for having stud quarterbacks that's
For
remembered
me,
nationally.
I like Jacory. I know some people didn't like Jacory Harris.
I like Jacory too.
I like Jacory. I thought Jacory looked good. There were some things about Whipple's offense that I like when he was the OC for Randy Shannon. I really like Stephen Morris. I thought out of all of them, Stephen Morris had the best deep ball, the strongest arm, but he had inconsistency at offensive coordinator. He had he only had Jed Fish for 1 year. I said, man, if Jed Fish would have never left Miami, Stephen Morris might have been that dude.
Mm.
Stephen Morris was nice. He had inconsistency with his coordinator. And there was that 1 year, what's his name? It was the freshman receiver. He was there for 4 years, and he went in the league with the Vikings and got hurt. He was there with Brad Kaya, too.
Brad Kaya?
Wide receiver. What was his name? See there? These are the time you forget these teams, man, because they didn't do much.
Right, yeah. But they had talent.
They had the talent, man.
They had the talent. They didn't have enough to compete nationally. Well, I shouldn't say nationally.
Well, it was more than less the defense got switched up.
Yeah.
The defensive coordinator, which was Golden's buddy, his read and react defense was no good. The other team could score too much.
He said, this was interesting. He said Jaron was the quarterback during the man. He begged Anthony to come back. Jaron.
Rooster did have a fumbling problem.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did. Yeah, I remember that Pitt game.
Yeah. And that when you got a fumbling problem, you have problems on the field.
He did have a fumbling problem.
Yeah.
See, Mario don't play. Remember Fletcher not Fletcher. Yeah, he fumbled last year in that game against Louisville. Remember?
Yeah.
Second half, and he benched him. But he only benched him for a series. Right back out there. Didn't want to mess with the boy's head too much. I'm going to punish you.
Right, yeah.
Get you right back out there. You're going to sit down this series.
Right, yeah. It says 1 year Jacory Harris was number 2 in the league as far as interceptions. Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Jacory was all that. He had flashes. I thought he had flashes. I still like Stephen Morris, though. I really felt like, Stephen Morris came in and they started out 1 year. Was they 6-0 or 7-0 or something 1 year? They had the other receiver, they had the old boy at tight end, they had a squad. Under that year they had Jed Fish, they had a team, they had a decent team. They went I remember that game, they went to South Florida, they beat the Bulls up there. They wore the all white. What was that receiver name? He even had a touchdown. He was a freshman. He was a 5-star recruit, and Miami got him. That just went to show that Golden would get a 5-star every now and then. He could get a kid. Right. I don't dislike Al Golden. I know a lot of people booed him and hated on him, and he was under a lot of pressure.
Right.
He had all them sanctions up under him, man, and he wasn't just fighting against the other teams. He was fighting against his own school. And people inside the school was against him, man.
Yeah.
I never disliked Al Golden. I never cursed Al Golden. I never thought, man, I just felt like, he was fighting an uphill battle from day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were some from 2011 through 17. Them were some rough, tough years, man.
Yeah. It was tough to be a fan, too.
Tough years to be a fan, dog, But we had some good teams, man. We had some, it's just, Florida State was that much better with their personnel,
Right.
They with the consistency with their coaching staff,
Right.
Denzel Perryman was that linebacker,
He says,
I remember them games.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. Yeah, hey, for real, these penalties need to get cleaned up right now, too. We are way too penalized.
On what side of the ball, though? Some penalties were stupid, like my man had a receiver that George had a receiver. As good as George is, he was a hothead sometimes, and he had dumb penalties.
Yeah.
The defense had a few undisciplined penalties.
Right.
Very few on the O-line because Mario don't play that shit.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I agree. Clean
Yeah.
that up. Clean
Yeah.
that up.
And
We
actually, I think I don't know the numbers, and I haven't dug in the numbers, but I'm pretty sure they was better this year than the year before.
And like I said, we got spoiled with Cam throwing the rock. We didn't see our punter very much this year.
Sure didn't.
We didn't see the punter.
Like I said, we didn't have any kick returns. We talked about that.
Nope.
Special teams was just,
It was
besides
just there.
our kicker, regardless.
Yeah, we had the field goal kicker we had. But
Yeah.
as far as nothing special on punt returns, nothing special. And I want to see certain people back there returning kicks. They worry about guys getting hurt. No, man.
Like who would you like to see back there?
Returning kicks?
Yeah.
I'll take JoJo. I'll take Ray or Malachi Tony. Any of them three.
Okay.
Put them on practice and see who can catch the ball and don't fumble or muff a punt. And let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ray was back there a lot on kickoffs and punt returns.
Right.
So I mean,
yeah. There's the next one. It says Al Golden had too many hurdles.
Yeah.
Sanctions, offensive D coordinator, and SEC Bama was paying players.
Yep.
Florida to Louisville pipeline. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. For sure.
They fired it I've always said, if you don't, some people like Randy Shannon, some people didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Randy Shannon kept old boy away from the program. That got everybody in trouble with the scandal. And he out now.
Right.
And I like listening to him talk because he did the podcast where he talked. I forgot old boy name. He did the time for the Ponzi scheme and shit.
Right.
But if Randy Shannon don't get fired,
Shapiro.
Yep, never Shapiro.
Yeah.
If Randy Shannon, this is my opinion, I could be wrong. If Randy Shannon don't get fired, Teddy Bridgewater's a hurricane. All them linebackers and other players he took to Louisville with him, they all hurricanes. Amari Cooper does not go to Alabama. He stays at home with Miami. And Teddy Bridgewater throws him the ball. They all would have been hurricanes. The only dude that would have left with the more punk ass Bosa brothers, because they was from they was going to Ohio State anyway.
Right, yeah.
But all them other cats that left, the running back with the dreads that with the locks that end up going, that he was from Miami and he ended up going to Florida State and he was on the national championship team. He was from Miami.
Yeah.
Miami didn't recruit him. I forgot his name. He ended up going in the league too. He went to Florida State. All them boys, I bet you all them boys stay home if Randy's still coaching there. I think that's why they got rid of Randy Shannon. Because you got to remember, you had people inside of the program. Yeah. They wasn't for football. Oh, girl, there it is, Freeman.
Yep, Freeman. Yep.
Right on, brother. We need to put him on the cast with us because he got it.
Right.
Freeman was that dude. He was from Miami. He wanted to go to Miami. They didn't recruit him.
Right.
Why? I don't know. I know Randy Shannon would have recruited him.
Yes.
And the only reason why your boy didn't go to Miami, running back that went to Florida State, like I said, brother play for Buffalo now.
I know his name. It's on
Minnesota.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook.
They from Miami. The only reason why he didn't go is because what's name promised him the starting job as a freshman up there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to wait behind. It was too late. Golden already had what's his name from the Vikings down here at the high school.
Yes.
I always draw a blank, man.
Oh, that's all right. But
I'm my man that came and he was Duke Johnson.
Oh,
he already had Duke in the bag, and he didn't want to wait behind Duke. When he said Miami,
he said Miami Wallace
was right. They wasn't trying to spend no money.
Right? Yeah.
They wasn't.
Yeah.
They wasn't trying to because at that time they were still. Remember, Al Golden was coming out of the crap with the NCAA, and then they found out the NCAA was cheating, and that was a big deal on TV.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, I don't take nothing away from Al Golden. I liked him as a coach. He had a plan. He had that book, the 8 pillars of what he was trying to build down there.
Right.
I thought he was trying to build something down there. People knocked him because he came from Penn State. I don't care where he came from.
Nah, I don't
He
care.
came there and he was trying to build something. He was getting some nice recruits.
They was knocking Randy Shannon too. So I was like, boy, he took.
Look, you got people. They gonna knock everybody, man.
They was on his. Oh man, didn't understand. I was just like, man.
It all
How many
started.
years did he do? How many years did Randy
Shannon
do?
after 4 years, they got rid of Shannon.
Okay.
Al Golden first year was 11. And that was
Okay.
arguably his best team. That 20. They started the season at Maryland. Jacory was suspended 1 game because he was part of that Nevin Shapiro stuff with guys. He had to sit out 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Stephen Morris got to start as a true freshman. And they lost that game at Maryland back in 2011. And they went 6-6 that year. But they had Lamar Miller. They had Travis Benjamin at receiver. They had Forston on the defense. They had Olivier Vernon on the defensive line that went to the Giants. They had a squad in 2011.
Right, yeah.
Now that O-line that they had that year, man, they was making holes for Lamar Miller.
Yeah.
They went to Virginia Tech wearing the all-white and just beat Virginia Tech to death. Lamar was running all over them. The only problem was they flipped that defense and they couldn't stop that Logan dude at quarterback for Virginia Tech, and they lost that game. I ain't forgot that game.
Right.
Because Lamar was just getting off. You could tell the Virginia Tech team was huffing and puffing, and the Miami O-line was just killing them. They was just eating them boys alive, and Lamar had a hell of a game that game. Right. Travis Bench, they had a squad that year, man. They only went 6-6.
Yeah, they said Fitzgerald is one of the best return.
Yes, he was.
In South Florida. Yep.
And them few times he hooked up in 09 and with and 010 with Jacory looked pretty, boy.
Yes, sir.
Jacory had a pretty deep ball. Oh, shoot. People say,
yeah.
Hey, Jacory had a beautiful deep ball. Yeah.
Hey, well, hey.
Whipple's offense was.
I know.
Sometimes his offense looked nice, and then you had Leonard Hankerson at receiver. They had some players, man.
Yeah, it just players, man. That's what I say. For all the talent that they had, that's right. It was frustrating as a Canes fan because they couldn't.
You had Allen at receiver.
Put it all together.
You had Walford at tight end. They had some players, man.
Yeah.
But okay, that was then. Now we on the now, man. I'm looking at this offense right now, and I'm like, okay, Fletcher and Lyle, all these receivers.
Yeah.
This offense could be
with the experienced offensive line. That's my key. You got that experience.
Next year, I want the fan base to just really focus on this next year. There's going to be a more balanced offense. You're not going to see as much passing as you had to do with Cam because Cam gave you that. I'm not saying Carson can't, but I think you're going to see 2 things this year with Miami. You're going to see the running backs eat more,
right,
and you're going to see the defense be completely different. I think this is a year where you're going to see the defense, if not win games, set the game up to be won.
Right.
Okay. There's a difference between the defense actually winning the game or setting up your team to win the game for the offense to win it. And I think this year is going to be a team where the defense can set the offense up to win games, make the stops that they didn't make last year.
And we can hope one thing with Mario, because when you get in these close games, you're really going to be scrutinized about your coaching.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people, that's what they worried about with Mario. So when we are in tighter games and stuff like that.
The 2 dudes on 247 that gave their interview earlier this week, the one dude said he don't think Carson Beck got the weapons to play for a national championship because a lot of these guys are not. They're young guys. They ain't proven. That's why he said that. Now, we as fans, we know our players. We say differently.
Right.
The other dude said he don't think Miami could play for a natty because of me, because of Mario. He putting it on him. What is he, as a coach, he thinks Mario is the reason why they can't. Some of the Oregon fans say that. Well, Mario was the reason why. Well, Y'all won 2 Pac-12 titles in the
Right.
Rose Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
Now, the last year he was there, y'all lost to Utah twice, but
But
Utah was
Utah
coming.
had a squad.
Utah had a squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Mario, this is year 4. And to sum it all, to sum it all up,
Right.
year 4, offense is a little bit more balanced with more running, less situations where they have to throw the ball a lot, and the defense is going to be of greater substance this year.
Right. Yeah.
I really think the defense is going to be, the secondary is going to be a lot better. The linebackers are going to be able to improve their play because the secondary is going to be that much better.
Right.
And I think, if they come out and play the type of defense that they're capable of playing in the secondary, get some picks, get some stops in the secondary, knock some balls down, cover well enough where the defensive line can get those sacks and get those tackles for loss.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a nice season. I think as a fan base, we have something to look forward to, and not, again, I can't stress, you got to put 2024 behind you, put it to bed. We've had all the other seasons to bed. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love going back watching the Butch Davis games from 99, 2000,
right,
01, 02 teams. But I know
now it's the now.
That was then. It ain't going to be like that now.
Right.
We got to put 2024 behind us. It was great. Cam changed everything.
Right.
Now, if Carson Beck has a really good season, which I think he will,
right,
how many other quarterbacks out there going to be looking to come down there and play for Shannon Dawson?
Right.
And is Miami going to pay Shannon Dawson enough money to stay?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it really depends on if you get a NFL offer, depending on the season.
That's to be seen who's going to start in the secondary. I got to check out their roster to see who the spring ball going to say a lot on that. But
yeah, because we still, we got speculations and they got mock position drafts. I mean, not draft, starters up already. But yeah, I think a lot of it really going to hinge on
right now, being February going into March, the two things they own are weights. They're in the weight room and they own the nutrition.
Yeah.
They own that heavy right now because you're getting, you're going to have spring practice start in about 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
You got 4 weeks in March. You got 1 more week in February. So, maybe 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks, they're going to start getting ready for workouts, the early AM workouts, spring work. You're getting ready for spring ball. So I think nutrition and in the weight room is where it's at, and watching film.
Yeah. Honing their craft off the field, they probably out there doing a little tossing around and.
Oh, I'm sure. They got the indoor facility. I mean, they can do what they want in there on their own time.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be. Don't know who's going to be the starters. We're talking about the secondary, but we got a decent idea. We got to hope for no injuries.
You got these guys coming in the portal. I mean, shoot.
They paying them money to come.
They didn't transfer to be on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, so you already know if you coming in the portal and you getting some NIL money, most likely you gonna play. Who is that? This is
Bryce Fitzgerald.
A freshman corner we got right now. He's a really good return man. Okay.
We gonna see.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, because I would like to see better play at special teams, just because of we just wasn't explosive.
No, I didn't expect. You couldn't get nothing out the punt game as far as return punts. Nothing really in the. It's hard with kickoffs because they move the ball forward. I'm not a fan of that in the pros or college.
Right.
I'd rather have kickoffs go back to where they used to be. I want to see football.
Right.
I'm tired of these good solid blocks getting flagged. A clip is one thing, but if you ain't clipping anybody, hey man, it ain't my fault you ain't got your head. I knock your block off blocking, and I'm not blocking you from the back. Why I got to get called for that? Well, we don't want players to get hurt. Hey man, this is football.
Right.
You want to watch that? You want to watch that other stuff? Go watch them gals play in them outfits.
All right, guys, we're going to get ready to wrap this on up. Once again, we appreciate everybody for locking in with us. And like I say, if you have any questions, just email me at zoneandsports@gmail.com. Submit your questions, and we'll be sure to cover them. E, you want to say anything before we get up out of here?
I just want to say he said freshmen are hard to trust on punt returns. Yes, unless he can catch. If he can catch on. Hey, I applaud anybody on kickoff returns or punt returns that can fair catch, and people coming at you and
full speed. Yeah,
you got to catch this ball. And
that's crazy.
Bounce it and hey.
Yeah, if you've been back there, you know it.
You seen who could do it. So freshman or senior, if you can catch under that type of pressure, if you show me in practice that that's what you do, then I'm gonna put you back. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for spending time with us today on this Saturday. I'm sure everybody got plans for this afternoon and this evening, and I wish everybody well. And thanks for tuning in. And until the next time we get together, have a great week. Be safe out here. Have a great work week, whatever it is you do.
All right. Until next week, y'all. Like I said, if you got any questions, drop them in. zoneandsports@gmail.com. We'll be sure to cover them. We out.